Well, Gavin, a game of very little quality, and we've ended up on the wrong end of a 2-0 loss.
Well, I think you're right. I mean, game of little quality. Yeah, it's a dreadful game of football. Dreadful, but we're the worst team out there. You can look at it and go, we probably had the lion's share of the ball, and probably in the ascendancy, for quite a lot of the game. But I'm looking at what we actually did with it. And it was dreadful. It was devoid of quality. It was long ball after long ball down two centre halves' throats. I didn't understand it. We weren't brave enough to get on the football today. We shrunk. In truth, we shrunk. We looked at a team that was coming off the back of a decent performance the other day, which wasn't vintage. And I've just said to him in there, people hid today. I thought people hid. It was a day for trying to get onto the football and make things happen, because aimless balls down the centre half's throat were never going to work today, and that wasn't what was asked of them. The fact that that's what we ended up doing, because the team was a little bit more on the front foot than us, a little bit gamer than us, a little bit more passionate than us in some respects, and we were left wanting because of that, and just devoid of quality. All right, tell me what we actually did. Tell me what we actually did in the game. Plenty of possession, plenty of good areas. Well, I say possession, it wasn't really possession. It was aimless balls in areas and picking up knockdowns. And with the two up front, they've got to function, and they didn't. They didn't function today. I'm not labelling them. They didn't function today at all. We need to work out why that is and how we can pick that up.
Indeed, it was a slight concern, given that the first 10-15 minutes we looked to have had a certain amount of success, certainly sort of willing runners and as you say, playing it on the floor, and sort of went downhill from there.
The two goals are very poor in respect of what we've given away today. I think it's 3 touches. From the second one is in the net from the keeper, and the first one's a set piece that we don't pick up from. So they're poor goals, from our point of view. They won't look at it like that, but we will. But I just look at general game. It looked a game too far, and I stuck with the same team roughly. I mean, we obviously had Jimbo injured today, and Josh came back in, but I stuck with it because I felt they could go again. I thought they had enough rest, and I don't think they looked tired. I just think we looked devoid of quality, and I've just told them in there that they're going to have to come. I can't do anything about that today, because that's probably the poorest we played. And when you take into consideration a couple really got poor ones like at Lewis and stuff like that, I look at that today and just think that's unrecognisable from our point of view.
Yeah, it's a slightly disappointing way to end what's been a very good start to the season, and certainly to sort of end 2023.
But that's all it is. When we talk about the start to the season, obviously we're halfway through. But it is. It represents a good half season that we've had in points tally, and we've had some very fantastic performances in that season. We've had some great wins, and we can be very proud of what we've done. But unfortunately for me, I can't do anything about what's happened tonight now. Go away, look at myself. Boys, the management team will look at what we briefed. Players have certainly got to look at themselves. The only thing we can do now is look forward to Monday and putting it right, and that'll be a really, really tough game. So I stand here. It'll be one of those where I hope in March we look at it and go, do you know what, that was a pretty off day, but we've kicked into gear and we've gone again since then. But if we produce performances like that, we won't be anywhere near where we want to be. So, as a collective group, we've got to go away and prepare properly for Monday.
Speaking of absences, obviously Jimbo was missing with a rib injury, I believe, and Obi as well was down to illness.
It was, yeah. Both were ill.
How much did we miss someone like him today in terms of the ability to perhaps stretch the game a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we were. I've nothing against the lads who are on the bench, but Obi would have certainly been a change. Let's get it right, because it would give us a completely different dimension in respect of what we were doing. We didn't quite have that on the bench. We didn't quite have that impact. So it was very difficult to make changes in the respect that was going to give us the impact that we wanted. And obviously Jimbo's a miss because he is a miss, as simple as that. So I just I look at that, but I didn't come into this thinking, oh God, we're in trouble here because we're missing those two players. I came into it thinking, well, Josh Okocha's coming back in, who's played a lot of games this season in that position. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. And you're looking at the others that you've trusted to go out there and to bring the quality that they have most times. So that for me is really, really disappointing. I'm really disappointed. I've just said to the supporters, we owe you one, because that's we can take the plaudits at Cheshunt and stuff like that, and we can look at the previous two games, the 3 wins on the spin, etc. But that's a letdown tonight. It's a letdown for me. They've let themselves down, and they certainly let the supporters down. But as I say, all they can do now is turn up Monday and put that right.
You set the boys a target of a minimum of 6 points, and obviously it's sadly not 7, given that we've dropped all 3 tonight. And I suppose it's an obvious question, but that's got to be motivation going into Haringey.
Yeah, I think so. I always maintain this would be the toughest game out of 3 that we had over the sort of Christmas period, if you like, and so it's proved. I think what you're looking to do is you're looking to come here and not lose. That represents a good return, and then you're looking to go into Monday's game against Haringey at home. But we've not managed to do that. I mean, certainly didn't set the boys a points tally of 6. I think that's defeatist in that respect. But I certainly did think in my mind that we were looking at 2 points a game. So we look at 2 points a game as a whole. If you get 2 points a game, then you're going to be in the playoffs. That's the basis of it. So you look to try and keep that momentum going with a points tally. Listen, I absolutely believe we could get 9 over the 3 games, but 7 would have represented a good return. I think we're short now of that, and I think we've let ourselves down.
That's a very easy New Year's resolution, I suppose, when we welcome Haringey anyway.
Yeah, if you're going to look at league positions and all that, then forget it. I'm not interested. This is a team I think that went and beat Billericay the other week, if I remember rightly. So,
indeed,
if you're going to take your eye off the ball, then this league is going to hurt you. It doesn't matter who you're playing, what league position they're in, and Haringey will raise their game because of who it is. We found that start of the season in respect of how difficult it was over there, but on that day is what we probably should have seen today. We should have seen a draw. We should have seen this grind out a draw today. But the manner of the 2 goals is unacceptable. The manner of the performance is unacceptable. As I say, I hope I'm looking back in March and thinking, well, that wasn't a very good one, but we've kicked on since then. You produce too many of those and you won't be where you want to be.